Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. As I said in my last video, this review is once again going to be a little bit Mandalorian flavoured, and the next figure I'm going to give you a look at is another exclusive. Now this guy is currently available at Toys R Us stores here in the UK and is available free when you make a purchase of £20 or more. I believe that offer expires on the 8th of May 2011. And in the US, I believe this guy is available at Kmart stores. He's been available on the market for quite some time, but since here in the UK we've only just got this figure on shelves, I've only just got the chance to pick this guy up. So the figure in question is this guy here. This is the Bounty Hunter and Boba Fett impersonator, Jodo Kast. This is a very cool figure, and I'm a massive fan of Mandalorians, so it was really cool to be able to pick this guy up. Before I get on to the figure itself, I'm going to give you a look at the packaging that he comes in. Now, packaging for this guy is kind of strange because even though it's the Shadow of the Dark Side packaging, obviously with the blue and black colour scheme, there's no space at the side for the Galactic Battle Game card or display stand, and strangely enough there's no card or stand included. So that's kind of weird. You know, if anything, I'd have really liked to have seen this guy released on a vintage card back, similar to how Nomano and Captain Fodo are going to be released later in the year on vintage expanded universe cards. I'd have much rather seen that, in my opinion. But this is what we've been left with. Obviously the image at the top of the card there just appears to be a photoshopped mock-up of Jodo Kast, obviously with it's an image of Boba Fett with the armour recoloured. On the back of the packaging, since this is of course the European card back, you've got a small description repeated in different languages. You've also got a very large image of the figure, as well as a still image. Well, obviously it's a still image because it's from a comic book. Not entirely sure the name of the comic, but that scene there, or that shot, is a very famous picture of Boba Fett finally confronting his impersonator and pointing a rifle at the back of his head. So I'm not really entirely sure on this guy's backstory, as I haven't read the comic book that he appears in, but I definitely wouldn't mind reading it later on down the line. So yeah, there's the packaging for this guy. I'll quickly read from the back. As I said, it's very brief. Wearing Mandalorian armour, Bounty Hunter Jodo Kast pretends to be Boba Fett. But I'll do the same as I've done in previous reviews, where I've copied and pasted the US description, which is a lot more in depth, and I'll copy and paste that into the video description for you if you want to read it. So there we go, that's the packaging for Jodo Kast. Onto the figure. Basically all this guy is just a repaint of the vintage collection Boba Fett figure. Obviously the armour has been given this much more vibrant green and yellow colour scheme. He's also got a very dark grey flight suit underneath that's been heavily weathered and looks very nice. There's no material kit with this guy, which I'm not complaining about too much because I don't think he has one in the comics. And you know, it just adds a little bit something different. You know, it's not a complete replica of Boba Fett. Accessory wise and weapons wise, this guy comes with all the same stuff. He has a Boba Fett style rifle. Just try and focus that in. And he also comes with the small blaster pistol as well, that's included in the holster on the back of the belt. I'm going to eventually display my Jodo Kast figure holding this blaster pistol, just to spice him up a little bit. He also comes with a removable jetpack, which, you know, is a little bit plain. It's not weathered like the rest of the flight suit is, so it does look a little bit out of place, but it's nothing too major. And he also does of course have a removable helmet, which is a little bit small for the head. Obviously, as you can see, the chin's popping out at the bottom there, but it's not a major problem, particularly considering that I'm going to be displaying this guy without the helmet anyway. But as you can see underneath, he's got a very cool head sculpt. Once again, not entirely sure if this is accurate to the comics as I haven't read them, but I'm sure someone will, so if they can let me know, that'd be great. Again, he's got the Wookiee braids on there as well, and he's also got a couple of cool decals on his armour, such as this one on his chest plate there, and also of course the Mandalorian skull emblem, or the Mythosaur skull on the shoulder plate. In terms of articulation, Jodo Kast has a ball jointed neck, ball hinged shoulders and elbows, swivel forearms, make that ball jointed torso actually, although it's only a very slight ball joint, it doesn't move around too much. He has swivel hips, ball hinged knees and also ball hinged ankles, so it's pretty much super articulated. Really no complaints about this guy. Absolutely love the look of him. Definitely add something a little bit different to your collection, and highly recommend picking this guy up if you get the chance. Especially, as I said, if you're a fan of the expanded universe or of Mandalorians, definitely get this guy because he is awesome. Really do like the colour scheme. Before I finish up with this review, I've got a little bit of trivia for you about this guy. Originally, back in 2008, as part of the Legacy Collection, Hasbro opted to release a Jodo Kast figure. Fans and collectors have been going nuts for a Jodo Kast figure for years, and when Hasbro finally decided to release one, they decided to repaint one of the most awful Boba Fett sculpts in action figure history. If you remember back to the Saga Collection 2006, there was a Boba Fett figure released where you pressed the top of the jetpack and the arm sort of raised up in a sort of pointing his gun motion. It was terrible, to be honest with you. It was a really bad figure, and for whatever reason Hasbro decided to repaint that figure instead of going back and reissuing a far superior Boba Fett sculpt, such as the Fett Evolutions pack Boba Fett or the vintage OTC Boba Fett. So a lot of fans were left, for lack of a better word, pretty pissed off. So obviously, due to fan outcry, Hasbro have gone back and reissued Jodo Kast with a completely new sculpt. Well, I say a completely new sculpt, a superior sculpt. And he's a very cool figure. Definitely recommend picking this guy up if you get the chance. As I said, if you're a fan of the EU and the comic books, go out and get this one. So there we go. That is Jodo Kast from, I don't really know whether this is from the Vintage Collection or from the Saga Legends line. The packaging doesn't indicate anything, and as I said, it is in the Shadow of the Dark Side, so at the minute I'm just going to refer to this one. This is just a simple Star Wars exclusive. So there we go. That's Jodo Kast. As I said, Toys R Us exclusive in the UK and Kmart exclusive in the US. So I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I'll be back with many more soon. Got a ton of sideshow figures and vehicles and tons of more figures to show you, so stay tuned for more reviews. And as always, until next time, keep collecting and may the Force be with you.